once again. We in here.
We're in here. Happy Feel Good Friday. And as always, you're so coordinated and you look so right.
Yeah,
You
no.
feel you look good. You feel good. Yeah. I told you guys, shorts with boots today for me.
She got the legs out. I got the arms out. We are ready for some warm weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, you know what, TDUB, I mean, before we even get into everything, you know, yesterday talking to Jules, and we got to, you know, share a little bit of a moment of us meeting each other for brunch. Me, you, Jules, and Besa, the queens of Converge. We were definitely converging at Plum Bistro over that amazing meal. And I just wanted to say, you know, publicly how much fun I had with you all. And, you know, Jules said it too, that there was something so special about our bond in Belize and how we're able to like literally carry that over into now. Anytime Jules comes into town, we're going to have to make that a thing.
Absolutely. We had an amazing brunch together. We laughed, we cried, we shared, we got deep, we did all the things. And like you said, the rapport is just there. And the four of us together, unstoppable.
That's why I love when you get to come on here for Feel Good Friday. You always have some updates and you're always doing some phenomenal things. And I love that we get to talk about something that we're both involved in. I've been involved with the Garfield Super Block Coalition for the last 2 years. Oh, I think even more than 2 years. It's been a minute, but it's been so phenomenal to see this effort shape up, you know, from a community effort. Shout out to Mr. Robert Stevens. We love you so much for like really stewarding this and being that passionate community member to say that this is necessary. Absolutely. But now you get to be a new addition to the team. Tell us all about, you know, Garfield Super Block and what you're bringing to the effort.
Yes. So Garfield Super Block is a big deal. It's something that's been happening. Actually, I believe Mr. Robert Stevens sort of came up with the idea around 2005, which is when I graduated from Garfield. So the full circle moment is just several times over with this whole project. And again, like you said, he's been championing and like standing behind and putting his energy and putting his best foot forward with this project for years now. And now we've finally gotten to a point where he has the support with the Garfield Super Block Coalition, you, Sharon, everybody who's there, like making sure that this thing happens, making sure that it comes to fruition in the ways that it needs to. And they recently reached out to me and my best friend Brianna actually about the art plan for that whole project. So we actually got to do a walkthrough with them this past weekend, walk the block, walk the park, and really just imagine and just see what could be. And I'm super, super excited to be a part of this and, you know, put together a little clip for you guys to see what we got going on.
There we go. Amazing effort. And you know what, TDUB, this is really exciting for me because I got on board to ensure that Black community was going to be heard throughout this process. I don't care about gentrification at the end of the day. You know, it was really Black culture that I think truly shaped the Central District.
Absolutely.
And we talk about that, you know, there was all these 7 different ethnic cultures that, you know, really like over time made the CD what it is. But I think that there's obviously I'm going to be like, hey, Black folks, we're here. Let's make sure that they're a big part of this. But, you know, the goal is to bring out those 7 different ethnic cultures into the artwork in the park. So there's going to be these major installations. And I'm so glad that your eye is going to be on this. How does it feel for them to know, like, hey, we need to get TDUB on something like this?
I mean, it's a great feeling when these conversations are happening on such a large scale that my name is being mentioned at all, you know, because being from Seattle, I know that, you know, there's a lot of people that are coming here. There's a lot of people that have opinions on how this place should look and how it should function and how it should feel. But we are the ones who have the deepest connection to this space, you know, and that's important. And we should be at these tables, period, especially when it comes to art, especially when it comes to anything Black, anything queer, anything art. I want to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
And, you know, your aesthetic is definitely going to be a huge addition to it. I mean, we were just talking during that clip there about the importance of our expertise and community and how sometimes it's not even looked at as, you know, or I don't even like people ask me my opinion all the time and I don't realize that they actually see me as a certain expert in a way because I, over the years, all of the relationships I built, my understanding of community, where we are, there is a real need for entities to actually recognize that expertise, right? And to be able to pay for it. So I just love that you're coming on board with Brianna and that you guys will be able to bring your scope to this. It's going to be amazing. And
to that point, I do want to say that there is something to be said about community engagement and the sort of gray area that can become when we have people that are experts on different things. Like all the things you just mentioned, they have titles to them. You know, people get paid for these things, and so we should do.
Hey, if nothing more, it is a consultant fee, my friend. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I mean, if you're talking about, hey, we need to hear from you because you have connections or we don't know what to do, that right there, you're going to somebody and you're consulting their expertise, you're consulting their opinion. And I agree. I love that this is going to be more and more part of the discussion because I think particularly in Black communities, oftentimes that's not breached. You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, just because you're connected, you're plugged in, like somebody like Mr. Robert Stevens, he's really been consulting all these years on what is necessary for this project. And while at the coalition, we're all volunteers. So I get it. We said we're volunteering for this effort. But when we got the funds to say we need to start hiring experts here, I'm glad that you are on board.
Me too.
Absolutely. Well, you know, you've also been, of course, as always, out in the community. Christopher Paul Jordan.
Yes. And Arnaldo James just recently did a collaborative art installation at the Frye Museum. And we're going to have a little clip of that in just a second. But my best friend, Brianna, she was here. She lives in Tacoma, but she came to Seattle for the weekend. So we got to spend the weekend together. We did the Garfield Super Block project. And then we went to this art show, which is Christopher Paul Jordan is actually somebody she worked with on a couple projects in Tacoma. So they have a good relationship, a good rapport. Christopher also did the AIDS Memorial on Capitol Hill. So that big X so that's all him too. So he's just amazing. So we actually got to see his latest installation at the Frye Art Museum, and you're going to see a little clip of that right now.
My mind is blown, man. I am having a great time.
Yeah.
The inverted pictures is just the wildest thing I've ever seen.
It's crazy. Definitely crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
Now you're explaining to me. First of all, I got to say, I'm a huge fan of Chris Jordan and his brother, Will Jordan.
Yes.
Out of Tacoma. They are amazing, amazing people. And I just got to say here, if you do not know Will Jordan's music, check out Will Jordan. You guys can find his music on Instagram, on Spotify. Amazing artist. He was actually in our Emoja celebration last year as well. But Chris Jordan, I actually connected with on a community level because he was doing housing projects out there in Tacoma.
Right.
Again, community development projects. He's like, look, you know, Tacoma Housing Authority had reached out to him. He's trying to make sure that community is involved there. So I love seeing this version of Chris where his art is showcasing.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about how he did something with the inverted colors. Tell us more.
Yeah, so there's a few things with this show that you just have to see in person. So one of the first things is obviously the collaboration of Chris's work and Arnaldo's photography is just phenomenal when it comes to the conversation of the African diaspora. The show is called In the Interim Ritual Grounds. So it's like they're creating this space for us, you know, in the Frye. So that alone is just a huge deal. Now, what Chris did actually with his paintings is there's an aspect to them where the colors are actually inverted. So when he painted the painting, the colors were inverted. And so when you go to the show, he invites you to take your camera phone, invert the colors on your phone, and when you put it to the painting, you'll see it in the actual real color. So that alone, that sort of like installation interactive likeness of it all is just mind blowing. Brianna said it. She's like, my mind is blown, you know, because who thinks of stuff like that? So that was incredible. There's also an aspect to one of his paintings that you can actually touch. And obviously that's something that you don't get when you go to a gallery show. So there's one piece that you can actually get to touch and feel the texture and understand, you know, just a little bit more of the history and the process behind what he's creating, which is absolutely beautiful. And then finally, there is a time capsule that's also installed in this space. And so what they're also inviting the audience to do is you have to book a time slot and you actually get to go into this blue box and record your piece of African Black history. And that will go into the time capsule, which will not be open for 100 years.
Oh,
so yeah, there's a lot going on with this one show. Please go see it. It's at the Frye through May 15th. Like, please, everybody, just go see it.
Oh no, definitely, because I got to be a part of the time capsule.
You have to. I'm going back because I'm like, I got to be up in there. So
got to be a part of that. So I love this, TDUB. As always, you are bringing something that to light for me that I probably otherwise would not know, and I just appreciate you for keeping your ear to the ground when it comes to art. You are not just an artist, but you really are a champion of all the other artists out here. We love you so much for that.
Thank you.
And of course, episode 4, Art of the Matter. Set this clip up for us.
Yeah. So Triana actually got to be here for this magic that is the man, the legend, Mr. Penn Cayetano. So for episode 4, Art of the Matter, which will be premiering March 7th. So not this next Monday, but the Monday after that. We're doing it every 2 Mondays. So just for future reference. But Mr. Penn, we actually got to visit him at Studio Cayetano in Dagrego, Belize. Meet myself, Trae, a couple other folks of the Converge team. We got to go to his studio, meet him, his wife, Ingrid. We got a tour of the grounds. We got to drink some wine. We got to play some drums, hear some history, like all the things. And so this dude is just next level. So we don't have the kilt.
You don't have it? Oh, okay. I thought you had it.
It's all good. But in any event, this next episode 4, we are all super, super excited about it. I'm super excited just for the fact that episode 3 featured Kevin, who's also a Belizean artist, but he's younger, right? So his understanding and his perspective of his art is, where he's at. Whereas Mr. Penn is obviously, he's been doing this for such a long time that you kind of get that sort of comparison of just the longevity of his career and what he has to say about it. So
I'm going to tell you like this. I mean, it was one of the, exciting times again in Belize, because honestly, you can tell the history from the gate, as soon as you walk into the grounds where he is. And honestly, you could see it through his music, his connection to community.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like an original pioneer of a very specific sound out of Belize. And he was talking about that in terms of like, Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock. Yeah.
There it is. And I'm sure you captured that too. But it was also that this was a space where even people like tourists could come get some real insight about the music of Belize, about the art of Belize. And then they have a small gift shop. So you get to walk away with, you know, not just supporting their efforts, but also walk away with something from this moment in time of your life. And I was just so thankful to be there, honestly. Absolutely. And, you know, we had the wine and we also had that amazing juice. Oh my gosh.
They're making
here we were, like cassava was everywhere.
Right.
And yet we got to experience cassava in a whole nother way right there in this space.
It was so cool. Definitely like one of the most memorable moments probably of my life. And like you said, like the gift shop and being able to take things home with you. I got some postcards, but I also got a soap that I actually was using. And I was just like, every time I used the soap, I would just like feel like I was back in Belize. I was trying to savor it for as long as I could. But yeah, just being able to make those connections and create those memories with you guys, with my Converge team and family, was just like, everything.
It really was. And I loved how at the end too, we got to do a little more drumming, right? We got our first taste of it out there at
Primero and the Segundo.
We already knew it. We knew it. The Primero and Segundo.
We're pros now.
We were so ready. I love that. And I love that, you know, honestly, you were like, I got this artistic eye. I know exactly what I want to produce while we're out in Belize. Because now watching the clips watching the episode with Kevin already, I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, we were capturing amazing things out there. And I love how your show really encapsulates it. Great work, TDUB.
Thank you, Trae. Appreciate
And I got to say, you know, right here publicly, great work on all these amazing clips. You're really like already, you set the tone with your first voiceover.
Right.
And I was telling people, man, when I was like, hey, you know, do a voiceover for Palmetto Grove, I was like, oh man, TDUB's at the bar high. We got to keep it going. So I love working with you. Thank you so much for being with me today on Feel Good Friday.
Likewise. Thank you, Trae.
Let folks know one more time where they can find Art of the Matter and how they can catch up with you in all the ways that you're moving and grooving in community.
Absolutely. So you can catch Art of the Matter right here on Converge Media. Episode 4 is premiering Monday night, 6 p.m., March 7th. And we're going to be featuring Mr. Pen Cayetano. And you can catch up with me, TDUB, on Instagram at TDUB Customs.
Oh, right on TDUB Customs. And also you can cop some merch. Look, BAP in the building.
Okay, you know, we out here. We got a little something going on. Keep that website too. Yeah.
Always a pleasure, TDUB.
Thank you, Trae.